Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Hughes, I am the Lord of Leisure, and welcome to another Aftermath video where basically I give some initial impressions after just watching a film. And rather conveniently behind me, the film poster is exactly of what I've just seen. It's the Hitman's Bodyguard, starring Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. Basically, I have no idea what kind of team at all, but honestly, the basic premise is that Ryan Reynolds goes from a well-renowned protection agent, bodyguard person. Unfortunately, he loses a quite important client who happens to have two wives, obviously, because of reasons, and then his life goes to shit. And he loses his lady friend and blah blah blah. He saves Richard E. Grant in a rather spectacular fashion, and I think anyone who liked Richard E. Grant in With Nail and I will like him in his brief appearance in this as well. It's remarkable. This film takes place in two prime locations in the UK and then in Amsterdam, but I've never seen a fight sequence in Coventry before, so that's certainly interesting. Ryan Reynolds gets brought in by his ex, who happens to work for Interpol, and he has to protect Samuel L. Jackson to get to The Hague to effectively give evidence against Gary Oldman, who's using his generic foreign accent as ex-ruler of Belarus. He's a bad guy again, and stuff and things. So I have to say this to start with: if you've watched the trailer for the Hitman's Bodyguard, then unfortunately quite a lot of the good bits you'll have already seen. Now, whether or not they got whoever was writing this or otherwise, it's just that they don't really make too much of this situation, because this is as close as you're going to get to a real-life version of Archer, in a strange sort of way, where the people involved are actually good at their jobs, but they also moan at each other. Samuel L. Jackson pretty much says motherfucker every 10 or 20 seconds, which there will be a point where you go, okay, enough. But there are some extra jokes that really do work well into it, and I did get a couple of good belly laughs out of this film. Absolutely. I mean, some of the action sequences are absolutely ludicrous and, quite grounded. Actually, despite the insanity that goes on. There's a wonderful fight sequence with Ryan Reynolds and some bad guys in a kitchen, and then a hardware store. There are some very good bits in here. In terms of story, you're never going to get Shakespeare or any of this shit. The acting is fine. But realistically, the film carries on three performances more than anything. Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, obviously for sure, and surprisingly, Selma Hayek as Samuel L. Jackson's wife. And seeing the sequence of how they meet in a dive bar called La Cucaracha it's a definite highlight, absolutely a highlight, and I absolutely loved that. So in terms of just pure stupidity, for the most part, yeah, you get this out of the Hitman's Bodyguard for sure, but there are times when it drags, absolutely it drags. But there are definitely more good than bad bits. Look, it's potentially a film you would not go out of your way to see at a cinema. I have to admit that. But overall, I had a blast. As a piece of stupid entertainment, I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it, because it ended on a high note, I have to say, and it was surprisingly good how it did it. So yeah, it's harmless enough. I'd say watch it at some point. If you're not going to watch it at the cinema, definitely catch it on your favourite catch-up service or otherwise. But I can see why it got panned a little bit in terms of reviews, but honestly, there's been a hell of a lot more, you know, adventurous and ambitious films out this year that have entertained far less. So yeah, seriously, Hitman's Bodyguard, for the most part, a decent enough, enjoyable film. And that'll do it for me, campers. I'm gonna bugger off now to get some lunch before another film. I know, 2 films again. But until then, take it easy, campers, and I will see you very soon. But until then, bye! That's the Hitman's thing. Bye!